Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to a really special episode of Winning Picks Weekly. NCAA tournament is done. I am back from being sick. We have Chip, a reoccurring guest now, holding the championship Kansas ticket, but that has nothing to do with, his love for Duke, taking Duke. We're going to get into all that. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, my buddy, my pal, the video producer for Knicks Jets, etc. Greg, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here. Happy you're back. Happy Chip got a win in the futures market, which is tough to do. And I'm excited. I'm excited to talk a little Masters. I'm excited to talk a little baseball. I got my Kansas blue on, but really it's my Mets blue. And I'm ready for the season, man. I'm ready to get this going.
Yeah, so on this episode, we'll be discussing the Masters. We'll get into a little bit of that. We'll get into the MLB futures. How you like to play, whether it's the over-under on the wins or whether that's a little bit of division parlays, as we like to get into. We'll touch on NBA stuff, a little bit of quick NBA futures, and maybe a little, soccer thrown here and there. Just, a little touch with the Man City Liverpool coming up in the EPL league. Some value over there. But yeah, man, first things first, Coach K's dead.
Yep.
We have to get into that and make sure that Chip knows that Duke lost to UNC twice this year.
I know.
But rest assured, UNC didn't win the championship, so there's that. There's that consolation. Plus, you had the winning ticket to Kansas. So shout out to Winning Picks Weekly for that. And Greg, did you do well on the men's Final Four?
Final Four, I did okay. Had Villanova and I had UNC, so that was kind of a wash. But all tournament long, I did pretty well. I was excited for it. Stuff like that, like we're going to get into it. I mean, if there's a line out there we're going to be looking at, we're going to be betting it. So with this stuff, the future stuff, there's big payouts. But I love NBA playoffs. I was thinking today, I love NHL playoffs, and those are sneaking up sometime soon. So, yeah,
Rangers. I looked at the Rangers number today.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
yeah. So I mean, when you're on the sports book, you can flip around, see what's out there. So, it did okay tournament wise. Did pretty good. So I'm happy with it. Yeah, overall it was good.
The results?
No big futures. Nothing crazy. Had like a wild Final Four parlay that lost in the first weekend, but that's how it goes, man.
Yeah,
Brackets get busted, teams get upset, but I'm excited to hear from Chip and see what he's got going on because I know he did well with that. I want to hear all about it, Chip. How'd the tournament go? Overall thoughts, all that good stuff. And we'll talk about Duke.
Yeah, Duke. Yeah.
Make sure to Duke, please.
Yeah. We have to talk about Duke, of course. Yeah. But no.
Now we don't want to talk about
Yeah,
Duke.
no.
Yeah.
Hey. No, hey, I own it. We lost. It was brutal. It was like the next day I woke up and I was like, I don't want to do sports anymore. I'm gonna take up reading for fun or chess or something.
Yep.
It was brutal.
That's how the Monday should feel.
Yeah.
Championship Monday should feel definitely.
It was
Final Four. That's how
it was absolutely awful. That should say how much I love my team and everything. But it was brutal but as far as how I did in the tournament, I think I did okay. Like even obviously the Kansas bet, I picked them back in November. That worked out about as well as any bet I've ever made. I've actually picked two future champions now, that Kansas, and I picked Virginia preseason too when they won because everyone was off them, remember, because they got upset as a 16 seed, so they had good odds that year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did well in this tournament. I picked my brackets that I picked were terrible. I had like Zona going far and Gonzaga, and I picked Baylor to go far on here. I picked them to go far everywhere. But the way I had some parlays too that did well, but the reason I did pretty well, I did some Villanova futures. I picked them to make the Final Four.
Yep.
And I think we talked about it on here. Their odds to win their region were pretty good. It was like plus 500. Yeah.
I think it was 500.
I
think it was 1,000.
Plus 500?
Yeah. I think it was like 1,000.
Yeah, Illinois was plus 1,000, which that didn't end up too good. So.
Yeah.
Houston, though.
Houston, though, yeah. Yeah, Villanova, made some money on Villanova. Obviously made some money on Kansas. forget it.
Any lessons learned, guys, before we
Don't
move
trust
on?
the Big Ten. Besides, don't trust the Big Ten, which
Don't
is
trust
the
the Big
obvious
Ten.
one.
I think it's for me. It's more so don't trust the conference tournaments.
Yep.
Actually,
Oh,
complete opposite.
100%.
Like if you're really good in the conference tournament, like you suck. Like like if you win it and like you kill it, like I'm actually taking you to lose immediately.
Yeah,
that's 100%.
Yeah, don't trust.
My other thought with that too is when a team's hot, We talked about Jay Wright and Villanova covering every way. When they made their championship run, I think UNC covered every single game. In this, second place finish for them, they obviously didn't win, but they covered last night. And when we're gambling, that's what matters. So, I have more money in my bank account than when I started with the NCAA tournament, so I'm happy about that. So overall, it's a good tournament. Also, too, I don't know if I talked about it last episode, placed the biggest single game bet I've ever placed, and I hit that. So that was huge.
What was that?
That was UNC versus UCLA, and I fell in love with Love in that game because he came up big at the end, hit a couple threes, and that game was back and forth all game. Then he stepped up in a big way, hit a couple shots. So that was the single biggest bet I've ever placed, and won that one. So very happy about that. Overall, a good tournament, but that's my biggest takeaway, man. When a team's hot. Just keep riding them. Don't overthink it. Just shoot, and hopefully it works out for you. We'll see next year.
I love it. Did anyone take the Gamecocks versus UConn? The girls.
UConn.
The girls.
The women's final.
The women's championship.
I didn't bet that. No. Did you?
Yeah, just because Coach K going down, Gino going down. Like I was all on board. I was just all on board.
I was at an event Friday night. I think I threw $25 on UConn to win that, and they ended up covering that, winning that game, obviously. But I didn't bet anything for the finals.
Yeah, I mean, like the women's college experts all had South Carolina like actually being a better team.
Yeah.
But then just the allure of Gino, and I was like, this is just Coach K. So I was just annoyed with the whole ordeal. So moving on, as promised, as Greg's background, Greg is sitting in the golf course right now.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm on the 13th. I love the azaleas. I have my pimento cheese. I'm ready to go, man.
Let's go. So Greg, he's one of the people that's got me into the drafts, years ago, and now he's getting me into. He definitely got me into the Masters and golf. Right, we bought that Tiger Woods game.
Oh yeah,
years ago. Then I even bought Rory on my own. So like things have escalated a little bit in the golf world, but I can't like sit down and watch a golf tournament, But especially if Tiger Woods is there, I'm on Tiger track, of course, with everyone else in the world. It's amazing that he's gonna play after getting into that accident where they said, is he gonna walk or not? Like I remember that was like yesterday. Probably COVID brain a little bit on that with my like timing, but it feels like last month that happened.
Yeah, it's crazy that he's back. It's crazy that his odds aren't that like insane. I thought his odds were gonna be way different. So people are gonna be betting him. People are gonna be excited for him. I hope he plays the full round, and we'll see him on Championship Sunday, hopefully.
Let's go with a little red.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Got the red.
All right. So, I mean, here we are, man. It's coming up. If you're listening to this, it's we're here. It's a Masters tournament. Hopefully, it's not rained out. Right. Like the weather's supposed to be terrible.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But what are you most excited about, man?
I mean, me personally. Obviously, I think a lot of people on our side are like either Brooks Koepka fans or haters. So I like him. I'm excited to see how he's looking health-wise. And someone that I've come around on, and I don't know if we're going to start getting into picks right away or not, is Justin Thomas. I used to hate Justin Thomas. Starting to like him more over the last year or two, and I'm liking him a lot going into this tournament. So I'm excited to see what you guys think about all the picks that we have and everything. But those are the two players that I'm definitely going to be looking out for in this tournament.
Do you have a reason to be polarized on Justin Thomas? I feel like golf could use an F1 tournament, style Netflix series to get me into them because, like, I know I hate DeChambeau, but like that's all because everyone tells me to. And like that's the stuff I get. Like I know I'm supposed to like Koepka because he goes on podcasts I like, and he's a cool dude, and so I like him. So I mean, do you have like some sort of way to sway us here on Justin Thomas?
So all right, so obviously full disclosure, not the hugest golf fan. I'm not watching everything, but I think I could be getting this wrong. So if I'm wrong, I'm
Looks
sorry,
like the
Justin Thomas.
foreplay pod, of course. Like that's where I get all
Yeah,
my golf stuff.
But I think a few years ago, wasn't Justin Thomas the guy who like told someone to like threw someone out of the tournament?
Oh, is that him?
Someone was like chipping him, or was that someone else? Chip.
Was that him or was that I think that's happened to a bunch of guys. Was
So-
that him, Patrick Reed, or
Wasn't Patrick
few
Reed?
guys-
Patrick Reed.
a few guys have done that?
Yeah, no, I think it was Justin Thomas. I'm sure there's a few guys that have done it, but it just struck me weird, and I just didn't like it. I thought he was just like making himself. I mean, some of these golf guys, I feel like they're just a little stuck up. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, come on, dude. Like these fans are here, they're cheering. You're not supposed
Watching
to
you
root
golf,
against people.
bro.
Yeah, you're not supposed to root against people. They're rooting against you, and he kicked him out. You're out of here, buddy. I think was the line. And that just rubbed me the wrong way. So that was like a few years ago. And like I said, I'm coming around on him a little bit. You know, I think that he's not what just that video depicted him as. So, and I like his odds. I like his caddy. I like the way he's playing. So we'll see. I mean, I'm excited.
How do you go about betting the Masters? So is that how you go about betting the Masters? Because we just talked about not betting the hot guy for NCAA, right? That's what we learned here. But is it different for golf? Is it different for the Masters? Like, how do you approach betting here?
Yeah, I think everyone's a little different on how they look at it. For me, there's just a couple things that I like to just refresh myself on. It's your current ranking in the world, preseason, where you're at now, as well as your finishes so far this year. Obviously, it's been a little hit or miss with some of these tournaments, but if you're playing pretty consistently leading up to the tournament, I expect that to continue. Even though the Masters is the biggest stage, so I also look at experience, how many times they've been there, how many times they've actually finished at the Masters, because it can be a very difficult course for someone that's inexperienced with the course. And that's why I also look at the caddy. I think on Justin Thomas's bag this weekend is Phil Mickelson's caddy. So Phil's obviously had a lot of success at the Masters, so he's not playing this round. So, Justin Thomas picks up an experienced caddy who can help him kind of navigate a lot of the stuff. And then for the Masters, all these golf courses, they keep making them longer and longer and longer because these guys are getting better and better. The technology in golf and the science and the math behind it keep improving. So I look for guys that can hit it long and hit it straight. I don't care too much about chipping. I don't care too much about putting. So if you have good iron play, if you're a good second shot guy, I kind of lean that's a differentiator. All those things are differentiators. In this field, it's a huge field, obviously. So there's crazy odds. So you have to kind of pick things that are going to put you towards one guy or another. Those are just some of the things that I look at when I'm looking at the field and kind of making my picks.
All right. How about you, Chip? Well, do you like the Masters? Do you bet it? Like, are you excited about it? I mean, besides the Tiger factor.
What's going on over there?
I do like golf a lot. I'm kind of like John. I don't sit down and watch a lot of tournaments, but the Masters is different. It's like bigger than just golf. Like my dad is a huge golf fan. Like he'll watch any tournament.
Oh.
But yeah, especially when, like for me, when Tiger is in the Masters, that changes everything. But I do pay attention to the Masters no matter who's in it. Like this is completely different for me. So I'm very excited to see Tiger in this. Obviously, I'm going to put money on Tiger. We were just talking about the FanDuel bet, or I think, John, you said it's like you can put up to $20 on a guy. And if he finishes in the top 10, you get your money back or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the kind of bet I'd place on Tiger. Definitely going to put money on him. Very excited to see him in there. But yeah, the Masters is always fun for me, especially the weekend if Tiger's in it. I mean, it's one of the biggest sporting events of the year if that's the case. So there's nothing like Sunday if Tiger Woods is in the Masters, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. But for me, it's a little bit extended. Like if there's anyone I know or recognize in the final weekend, I'm like starting to pay attention. Like, oh, there's this. So you mentioned it with that like side bet on FanDuel. But there's a lot of interesting ones, right? There's not only like the to finish one, there's like top 5, top 10, top 30, top 40, and even to make or miss the whole cut in general. So there's some rules, right, to the game. Like the preseason rankings, like Greg mentioned, if you're not the top 30, like you don't win the Masters. So just like stay away from that. But so like I only took Tiger and Brooks Koepka to win, just for fun. I also took them, top 10, but the real fun for me, like if I just want to, you know, if I want to pull out my phone, you know, at some point or turn on the TV within the next 4 days and like actually look at the entire like scoreboard or score sheet, whatever you want to call it in golf land. um, and I just want to like look at all the names and see where they stand and stuff like that. I have to like make some sort of parlay. So what I do is I throw in the make the cut parlay. So I take 15 of the guys I know. So I took McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Koepka, Bubba Watson. I threw, there's always some like weird ones in there, like Matsuyama. He's got to go in there. JJ Spawn, right? He won that last golf tournament, like, with minimal research.
Yep.
Be able to. Fitzpatrick, he's playing well right now. I took him in the cut. John Rahm, the favorite. Scotty Scheffler, the number one golfer. And then your boy Justin Thomas got him in there. And I wasn't sure. Justin Thomas, Patrick Reed, they're both in there. And then I took Max Homa and Sergio Garcia. So just a bunch of names I know. That's $10 to win $680. So like that's just fun for me. Like, the first couple days to watch it and just be like, oh, like I just need this guy. Just keep advancing, and just see what happens. Do you have any of those kind of bets, Greg?
Yeah, I do. I have not to make the cut parlay, but I have 3 picks that I'm gonna pick, and then I have a 4-person parlay just to finish the top 10. So let me pull up the odds on the parlay. But so I essentially have 4 picks, right? I have the 3 outright winners and the parlay.
So give us your outright winners. You have them?
Just deleted them from my ticket. Hold on a second. So I got Roy McIlroy plus 1,900.
Roy McIlroy.
Yep.
No, he's not even McIlroy. He's McIlroy over
Yeah.
here. All right.
Trying to get with it. So I like Rory. I think he worries me a little bit because I feel like he might be seeing ghosts out there. Not to bring up some Jets bad references, but
it's a good
it's a
good
Carolina
him,
bad.
I think.
It's a Carolina bad reference.
Yeah, he puked all over himself a couple years ago on one of these Masters, and he's been chasing it ever since. So I get a little nervous about him. But if you're talking about guys that hit it long, hit it straight, I feel like he's been playing okay. Not particularly amazing, but also too with these guys, looking at the past winners, it's very rare that like the top couple guys end up winning. So I'm trying to find someone in that 1,600 to like 2,500 range that can end up winning it. Obviously last year, I'm blanking on the guy's name that won it, but he was like 45 to 1. So that was crazy. But usually it's in that 20 to 1, 18 to 1, 16 to 1 kind of range. So, so he's the lowest odds guy that I got. But Rory, I think, just strikes well. I think he's playing okay.
Matsuyama, by the way, that's who I just he was in my cut. I also have him in my other parlay. He's the guy I heard of because he did well last year. I'm sure that means he's going to do very poorly this year, but he's got to make the cut.
That happens. I mean, I think Dustin Johnson won it 2 years
he's a
ago.
Name.
And then
he's a household name now. He's my household name, and he has to make the cut. That's how it works.
Once you win a green jacket, you're on the map. So, so I like Rory in this one. That, like I said, that's my first bet. I think he gets over the hump. I don't know if he wins it, but that's why I got him in the top 10 parlay as well. I think he's going to be in the hunt come Sunday.
All right. Wow. So how I went about it is I want
to hear Chip. Chip just gave me a little wow.
No.
I'm wondering what that's about. Is that
you said you were nervous about Rory, and I 100% agree. That's why I'm not picking him. Maybe it's because I've lost money on Rory before, and I just don't trust him at all. Like, I
feel the same way about Bubba Watson, so I hear you with that. Like, if you've bet him a few times and Bubba Watson won tournament last year, 2 years ago, just completely in shambles on Sunday. And I'm like, dude, you had like a 3-stroke lead going into today. Like, what are you doing? Hit it into water twice, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Sometimes
I remember that implosion.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't forget it. So if that's the case for you and Rory, I totally agree. Totally understand.
It's partially that, but it's also like there's just something about him where I feel like he can't close the deal. Like it's especially you look at his stats at Augusta and it's like, oh, he had a top 10, but he also finished 49th and 46th, and then he missed a cut. It's like he's very erratic. Maybe Augusta just isn't his course. Maybe he just doesn't play well there. He's great at the British Open. He's great there.
Yeah,
but some guys just don't play well. Like you mentioned, Bubba Watson. Bubba Watson plays great at the Masters, but he doesn't really play well at a lot of other courses.
Yeah, I agree. I just think at this point, too, I read something today, too. It's like he's won the other 3 majors or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like time's ticking, dude. If it's not now, like when is it? Like,
Yeah. There's a lot of other golfers coming up that are younger and just as good or better than him. So he's got to win it soon.
Yep.
Chip talking like he definitely doesn't have the Rory McIlroy video game.
PGA Tour game.
That's all I'm saying.
I stopped buying after Tiger, I guess. But
Tiger was the last one. It goes Tiger, then I got him. I think 2K is coming out with one too. Honestly, the coolest part, and probably why I like the Masters even more, is because I play the Masters courses. And so it's just fun. I'm just like, I literally know that course from the video game. It's almost like FIFA, where you start knowing rosters and you start knowing players because of, you have in FIFA and Ultimate Team. Like, why else would you know, like, the third stringer, on one of the Italian teams, like on Napoli? So, I don't know. I do think the video games really get me into it. But you guys are talking smack about old people. Right, people, the new younger generations coming in.
Yep.
And part of my big parlay, right, a solid 20 to 22 years ago, my boy VJ Singh wins the Masters. He's come back with a vengeance. Once you're in, you're always in the Masters tournament, right? That's what's so special about it. It's invitation only. And I started Googling VJ Singh to see what he's up to. He's got a little workout regimen going on. Posting like he's got his own TB12 thing going. I love it. 55, like just trying to make the cut here. So I didn't take him in my cut, even though that would have been, more reasonable. I took another 15 parlay, all top 30 or 40 finishes, right? Like it makes me feel a little bit better. Chip talking a little smack about Rory finishing like 46, 43. Like that's terrible. Like perfect, bro. Like that's terrible. Perfect. Because I have 3 in the top 40, JJ Spawn, who just won, Kevin Kistner, and VJ Singh. And then a bunch of top 30 finishes, right? Not getting too crazy. Like I got Scheffler, Garcia, Reed, Watson, Woods, Matsuyama, as we just talked about, Fitzpatrick, Dustin Johnson, Rory, Justin Thomas, John Ram, and Brooks Koepka. Like all those in top 30. And then you get those Singh, Kistner, and Spawn in the 40, $10, you win 180K. Like, I'm just going to keep like just randomly looking at the scoreboard. If they make it into, the weekend, just hovering around, just have to hover, you don't have to be in the top. And so I think it'll also be fun. Sometimes they kick it to groups where, the top of the group, it's very top heavy. And so like, you're just staring at the 3, 4, 5 guy and you're like, all right, what do I do with this? Why do I care? And so this is my reason to care. You know what I mean? Like, because the cut is done and now we're just, trying to finish here in the top. So that's how I'm rolling with the Masters this year.
I like that too. Also, you're talking about coverage. If you're out there, you haven't checked out the Masters website during the Masters weekend, it's incredible. So they have all like that's my big thing. When I really started getting into it is when I got a desk job at work, because you can just pull it up. You can have it going all day. It's easy to listen to in the background. When something big's happening, you can throw it on, but you can also bounce around from Eamon's Corner to whatever group you're watching to whatever they're showing on like the actual broadcast and stuff. So it's a phenomenal website, and it's a great way to watch it too if you're not in front of a TV.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any Masters bets that you guys want to end the segment with? Or you guys got it all out there?
I mean, I don't know if I said I'm putting money on Tiger to win. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put money on him to win, and maybe put a little bit of money on him to finish in like the top 10 too, to be more realistic. And I think we were joking about it earlier, but I think I am going to put money on Bryson to not make the cut. Just so, I think that would be funny to root for that. I haven't done any parlays like you guys were talking about. That's not really my thing, but I am going to look into that now that you guys are talking about it.
I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's lost money, right? We know, like, friends don't let friends make parlays. I see you always tweet that out.
Yeah,
so we're not betting, half unit. We're betting a tenth of a unit.
Yeah.
It's not even big. Like, you know what I mean? So it's really just to keep me engaged. And if it hits, it hits, man. I've been 1 or 2 away from a couple big ones in the last couple of days. So I feel like it's getting warmer and warmer for me. Maybe that's, dangerous last words. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
Kansas hit for me. The 1 to 10 bracket. So my parlays are rolling. And that actually gets us rolling to the next segment because
hold on one second. I just want to
put
get
in.
a couple picks.
Hold on, I want to.
Oh, okay.
I'm going Jordan Spieth too as my other outright winner.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going with Spieth.
Okay, yeah. The rest of my outright winners too are just Colin Morikawa, Will Zalatoris. I think both those guys play well off the tee and with their irons. Maybe not the best putters in the field, but again, I'm not too worried about that. If you can get the ball on the green, on pace and wherever the proper golf term is, I'm blanking on it right now, but in regulation, I think they got a good shot at that. So again, guys that hit it long, guys that hit it straight, guys that are good with their second shot. I believe all three of the guys that I'm picking are like that and have a good shot at it. And to your point, John, about the parlays, for me, it's just kind of like a little bit of an insurance thing. It's tough to pick an outright winner in these things. There's so many people, there's so many factors. So my parlay that I'm putting in is $25 to win $1,125.
Right.
And it's Dustin Johnson, Colin Morikawa, Justin Thomas, and Will Zalatoris, all just to place in the top 10. So for the top 10, that's tough to do. But again, I think these guys have a good shot at winning it. So if they come up a little short, they have a bad round, they maybe can fight back. So $25 to win $1,125. It's decent insurance is the way I'm looking at it for my 3 outright winners.
All right. Is that it for golf? Is that it for Masters?
Yeah.
Did anybody pick Koepka? Sorry.
Yeah, I got
wanted to know if
Koepka.
anybody picked him. Okay,
I know Greg hates injuries. Hates injuries, but I like storylines, especially when I don't care. Like I'm not watching the regular season. I'm just here for the playoffs. I'm that guy that comes in for the Super Bowl. I'm that guy that comes in for the NBA Finals. Like, yeah, I love LeBron. Yeah, he's LeBron fan.
For college football bowl season and March Madness.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just that guy right now for Masters, and I admit it.
Like you said,
well, the storyline is Brooks dyed his hair too. His hair's blonde now.
Yeah, he's just fun. I just like him.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Hey, like, I don't know. He goes on my favorite podcast and he, chops it up like a normal person, makes fun of people who take the sport too seriously.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
He's such an easy guy to root for. He really is.
And also too, he's a big game hunter, man. He shows out for these big tournaments. He doesn't care about the Honda Classic or the Travelers or whatever.
Yeah.
He cares
very much like Tiger in that way. Yeah.
He cares about he's made for the big stage. It's whether he can stay healthy. So we'll see how he looks. I mean, if he wins the whole thing and I lose my 1 unit that I'm breaking up 4 different ways, it is what it is. I'll be happy for him. So hopefully he has a good tournament.
Let's go Tiger though.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go Tiger.
Let's go Tiger. All right, so that jumps us into baseball, and I know I'm here in my Yankee jersey. I know I've been going off on Knicks, Jets, etc. about how I was jealous of the Mets. And that lasted for about 4.5 days. Right, Greg? Greg was hyped. He clipped that for me. He was like, I'm gonna let you know. Like you said, you're jealous of the Mets. And I could be honest, man. I love baseball, but we know that baseball is a regional sport. So whether you like or dislike the other team, for me that's the Mets. For Greg, and for some reason he's a Queens guy. Living in upstate New York, well, that's neither here nor there. So, for him and his crew, that's the Yankees. And we're always paying attention to each other, especially that we got Buck Showalter. We even had an in-season trade that we just got, the catcher, Castro, who Greg likes. So that makes me happy.
I hate that the Mets and the Yankees are trading with each other. That's disgusting.
Fun fact, I actually just bought the Yankees 2000 World Series patch hat from Kith. Just so I'll make sure to wear that when I'm around.
I might have that over, or the 96. I have one of them over in my
I have a
the
96.
Yankees. I thought you were going to say the Yankees 2017 World Series. Because according to Brian Cashman, we won. According to Cashman, we won in 2017.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Okay, can we just really quick before we get into the baseball stuff, because we're in our baseball segment. How do you guys feel about? I want to hear from the resident Met fan first.
Sure.
How do you feel about Cashman? Those comments that Chip made about the 2017, and on top of that, a little more objective. How do you feel about this automated, catcher to pitcher signals that they're doing now to get rid of the idea of this signal stealing? And we're not going to mention the Congress papers because they're sealed, Greg.
Yeah, I think it's disgusting that the Major League Baseball has to change the rules around to stop the Yankees from cheating. I mean,
we follow the law, Greg. We just follow the law, man.
Yankees, the Patriots. I mean, historic franchises that cheat all the way to the bank.
Whoa. That's uncalled for. But how do you feel about Cashman and that rule?
The rule's whatever. I don't care. I love Brian Cashman personally because he stinks. The Yankees stink. God. And John, and Steinbrenner's turnover in his grave. I love everything about Brian Cashman. I hope you guys keep him. I hope you guys keep your coach or manager, I guess, in baseball for 100 years, man. You guys are great. Your pitching's fine. Don't worry about it. I love your relief pitcher who just gives up home run after home run in the playoffs.
Chapman?
Yeah, Chapman, yeah.
Listen, man, we had the sixth best ERA, sixth lowest ERA last year. We sucked. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're getting better, I think. In my opinion, I think Sevy's going to be okay. I like our young guys for the first time. You know what's crazy, man? And I guess we're on to the Yankees a little bit, but I do want to get Chip's take on that. But the Yankees are finally playing small ball, and it's for the first time ever. And the year when the NL gets rid of their DH, right? How do you feel about that too, Greg? How do you feel about the DH stuff?
I mean, the NL getting rid of the DH, you're saying?
Yeah.
Or adding
they got the DH. They got DH, and now Pujols is back in the Cardinals, chilling.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I mean, I kind of don't like it because, DeGrom is, I think, one of the best hitters and one of the best pitchers in baseball when it comes to hitting and pitching.
Oh, yeah?
So, when he's on the field.
Yeah, he's... Dude, he didn't pitch. I wasn't even going to bring him up. I wasn't even going to do that to you, but the guy didn't pitch all the offseason because his elbow hurt, and then he comes in and it still hurts.
Yeah.
Even Evan Roberts said, can you really call him the best pitcher in baseball when he never pitches anymore? Even Evan Roberts said that.
He pitched the first half of the season last year and was on a Cy Young pace until he got hurt. So
yeah, it's over. He's gonna miss two. If he misses this entire season, he's not the best pitcher in baseball.
He might not be the best pitcher in baseball this season, but when he comes back next season, is healthy.
Oh my God! Listen, you would rather have Noah Syndergaard over DeGrom. He's killing it on the Angels right now.
No.
Is he really?
Okay. He did okay in the start. Scherzer is obviously going to lead the squad for the Mets.
I mean, I'd take Syndergaard on the Yankees in a fucking second.
Oh my God,
that's not saying much.
For a decade, you guys would take our scraps when it comes to pitchers because you got
one. Oh, please.
All I heard about was, Matt Harvey's going to look great in pinstripes. Oh, Matt Harvey's going to look great in pinstripes.
Who said that?
The guy that does
Yankee
coke.
Fans.
There's no way my man getting nosebleeds, and they all knew that it was from coke that he was gonna come to the Yankees. Oh, that's a typical Mets player. And then he goes to Cincinnati. This is perfect. It totally makes sense. Going everywhere in the division, the Yankees won't take him anyway. Got a little contentious here. Chip, what are your thoughts on the MLB offseason?
The MLB offseason or in general, or the Yankees offseason?
Yeah, Mets, Yankees, the MLB changing the rule, Cashman talking about how he won 27 World Series, like you said.
Yeah, I look at all of it from a Yankees perspective, and I was just disgusted by all of it, watching all these other teams spend money, and the Yankees just doing I was just sitting. My brothers follow baseball a lot harder than I do, and we're just sitting there watching the Yankees not do anything, and it's what's happening? And then watching the Twins outmaneuver them was just pathetic. To get Correa to play shortstop for them. Look, I like them bringing Donaldson in. At least they got someone to come in, and I think Rizzo, a full year of Rizzo, whatever. Hopefully it's better with a full year of him there.
He's a beast. I don't know what's to hate on, but okay.
Yeah, no. I'm not hating. I'm not hating on them at all. I'm not worried about them scoring runs. I'm worried about the pitching, like every other year. That's what I'm worried about, and the pitching in the playoffs. And I don't trust Garrett Cole in the playoffs because we just saw what happened. But now, as far as
the catcher now.
Oh yeah. That because that's what I mean, if you're a
Listen,
$500 million
I love
pitcher,
Gary Sanchez.
yeah.
I love Gary Sanchez, and I think he's going to do great on the Twins, to be honest with you. But the way John Flaherty talks about Gary Sanchez really makes me pause. Like, he really goes in on him, and especially now that he left like he tried to be as nice as possible, but he's just like, dude, he stinks. Like, I'm like, all right. If you're John Flaherty, like a top catcher, covers the team, like if you're telling me he legitimately stinks in the nicest possible way, I'm excited about that. But also at the same time, I really like the Twins this year now. Now that you mentioned it, like,
do you really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the Twins to win the division. And, we jumping into, this is Winning Picks Weekly, jumping into, the bets this year. That's how I watch baseball. I like to take the division parlays, and the same thing with the NFL. I kind of learned it from the NFL, and the NBA divisions aren't real, so I don't take that.
Yeah.
Most people can't even name the divisions because no one cares.
Yeah, and they took off the top 4 spot if you win it too. So it's literally
meaningless. They should get rid of them. Yeah,
exactly. And teams like Memphis should be in the Eastern Conference, not the Western Conference. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so jumping into how I bet baseball, I'd like to take the divisions. Like I said, I don't really like the over under with the wins, because you're kind of always sweating it out until the last week or two of the season. 3 max, right? If you're a super genius, you're super sharp on one team, and at the end of the day, you're doing all this 162 games in order to become even, and that makes me sick to my stomach. So I can't do that, and that's why I don't. And you can't parlay them, right? So there's better odds on the division, and you can parlay them. So that's how I roll with it. I'm gonna start off with my most realistic division parlay, where I take my heart out of it and I just kind of just look at the teams, right? So it doesn't include the Yankees, because that's going to ruin my whole life. And I'm gonna I'll just throw off the top. I threw it in with Kansas money line, right? So I threw in the Kansas championship at the end there, and then I put in the Phoenix Suns to win the championship. So they're the 2 favorites going into it, which I think the Suns are going to win. But then so my Major League Division parlay is the Twins, the Braves, the Brewers, and the Dodgers. I don't think it's too crazy to fathom that they all get in there. We're talking about the favorites of the Dodgers, the favorites of the Brewers, the favorites of the Braves, and the second favorite in the division of the Twins, and that's behind the White Sox. All right, I don't love that pitcher from the Brewers just got hit for steroids. Not great. Yeah, not a great start. But I like the Brewers this year, especially that they're getting a DH in a hitter's park. I feel like that's one thing that's maybe not adjusted to in the division parlay. You know what I mean? They're just looking at the team. And I feel like that's going to kind of move as the season goes along. So that's how I'm rolling with it. That's a $25 parlay to win $4,500. So that if we want, I don't know how you guys want to approach it. Do you guys want to talk about specific divisions? I mean, we could. I kind of want to start at the NL East, if you're asking me, because Greg's the NL East expert, and we talked about how it's a regional sport for the most part. Like, I'm not gonna ask about the Mets, right? Because whatever, we know what's going on there with the pitching. We don't know till DeGrom comes back. We'll see what happens with Lindor, who stinks. But let's talk about the Braves and the Phillies, right? Because I feel like those are the other 2 teams. I don't really believe in the Nationals. Like, do you think the Braves are going to repeat? They're the champs. Like, you think they're going to win the division?
I think it's tough to do. I think it's tough to repeat. I mean, they obviously lost Freddie Freeman. They brought in Olsen. So, hometown kid coming home. Might take a little bit of time to adjust for him. I think Freddie Freeman was really the face of that team, the heartbeat of that team. So I think that could be tough to replicate. You have to find a new one. Obviously, they did it without Acuna last year, so he's a big bat coming back. So yeah, I think there's definitely, they lost a couple other players. I mean, it's like with every championship team, you lose a lot of your guys. They go get top money somewhere. That's gonna be one of my picks, is a home run prop for the league leader in home runs, who I really like, who was a former Brave, went to Miami. So a little.
You got a home run. Rivalry. You got a home run pick right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to give it out, I'll give
it
out.
Who you got? Yeah, don't tease it. Who do you got?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
I didn't even know those are available.
Oh, Jorge Soler plus 8,500. Throw a half unit on that. You win 4,250. I'll take it. My big thing with
Okay.
him, he's big. He's obviously a big bat. Came through big.
Dingers.
Yeah, came through with the Braves last year in the playoffs when he showed up to Atlanta. And then the stat that I have on that, which I really like, is these baseball nerds, they have stats for everything. I absolutely love it because I'm not that type of guy, but they have apparently
Well, I'll read it.
What?
But I'll read it.
Yeah, I'll read it.
I read it all. I read it
I'll
all.
bet real money on it.
Hey, you took Justin Thomas to win the. That is the stat nerd of golf. He is like the James Harden, Steph Curry of golf combined.
Yeah.
Right.
The analytics all. No, and not his personality, like the analytics stuff.
I know.
Yeah, loves the math. Which so for me, they obviously rank like they have a home run factor for ballparks. So when he was in Kansas City, their ballpark was a 0.8. When he was in Atlanta, it was a 1.02. Now he's in Miami, where it's 1.33. So it's a huge boost to him when it comes to being in playing half a season in that ballpark. Miami, I think, is not going to be very good. He moves into the 2 slot there. So I think he's going to have a lot of opportunity. And then, too, I have a dumb gambling brain. I just think of Giancarlo Stanton in Miami just hitting bombs all year long. So
yeah, he's a Yankee, baby.
Yeah, how's that working out? So I hope he gets a little Giancarlo in him down there. So I'm going Jorge Soler, plus 8,500 again, half a unit on that to win 4,250. And I like that bet. Like you with the divisions and stuff like that too. You're just rooting for something all season long. Like all season long, I'm just going to pull up a box score in Miami, which I would never do otherwise, and just see if he hit a home run today. So.
Yeah, and it can adjust. So my favorite thing about the division stuff is they roll those out during the year. So the over-unders are solid for the most part. Sometimes they'll throw it out later for specific teams, but not really. That just kind of stays locked in the beginning of the year for the most part. The divisions, they tend to fluctuate, right? So if you're listening to Winning Picks Weekly in the NFL season, we went nuts because we thought, we had an eye on Carolina division stuff, the Vikings. There was like some juice on that towards the end of the year. So it is fun for me to hedge later. If, say the Twins are looking good for the first half of the year, and I could hedge out and, take the White Sox. So now I'm definitely going to win, that division. So that's kind of how I look at it.
I absolutely agree. Right now, when you're looking at preseason, you're just looking at off-season moves. You're looking at pitching staffs. You're looking at who's healthy and who's not, and you're just trying to find tremendous value. You're trying to find this, the San Francisco Giants before they went on their run and became the San Francisco Giants. You're trying to find these teams before they make these incredible 10, 20, 30 game runs. And you're looking for a team that can start out hot. So you're looking for a good pitching staff, looking for some reliable hitters, not a lot of changes. So, yeah, I agree. The best thing about the division is that they do change over the season. So those odds fluctuate. I know last year I had like the Red Sox, and the Red Sox started doing well. And you can you can cash it in maybe on these apps now. It depends if they give you the option.
I'm not sure.
Not,
Can you
can
do
hedge
that?
it out. It depends.
You can cash out a future.
I'm not some futures, yes, but
You can on DraftKings. You can on can on some. It's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know the
depends.
criteria exactly.
And I don't know if it depends on the type of bet it is, or if it just depends on the site as a whole. I'm not sure.
Or the timing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you approach the baseball season, Chip?
With the gambling stuff, I was actually, because like I told you guys earlier, I don't follow baseball as much as you two do. So for the gambling stuff, when you asked me about it, I was looking back on like the archived odds for division winners, and I was looking at like all the favorites and stuff, and I was like, man, this is kind of like the NBA, where it seems like most of the time, if there's like an overwhelming favorite to the division to win the division, they pretty much win it every single time. So I like what you were saying about parlaying like the favorites to win the divisions. Like it seems like, yeah, as long as the Dodgers stay healthy, they're probably going to win the NL West. And same thing with
especially because Tatis is out too for the Padres.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Same thing with same thing probably with the Brewers too. And I don't know much about the Brewers, but I assume they're that heavy of a favorite for a reason.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, good.
The one,
stuff.
Yeah, the one.
Fingers.
Yeah, the one that sticks out to me.
I think Yelich might be MVP, but whatever.
Oh, okay. And the one that sticks out to me, and because look, like you said, it's a regional sport, so I look at the AL East division more than anyone else.
Hell yeah, me
Sure.
too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bet the Yankees, same as you, but I don't know. I thought you said you weren't gonna
That's
bet the
my
Yankees.
realistic. That's my real. I just threw on my realistic parlay.
Oh
'cause,
yeah,
like,
then he gets a little
Oh,
crazy.
in the parlay, yeah.
yeah. But I'm
But
definitely taking the Yankees because I gotta watch them.
I think I'm gonna
Be miserable anyway.
I think I'm gonna put a little bit more money probably on the Rays though, because I'm looking at the Rays and they're longer odds than the Yankees, and I think I don't think. I was listening to the Ringers gambling show, and he was talking about them too, and that's where I got this from. He's like, the Rays
They're
get no
beasts.
respect ever.
I know.
And I'm like, and
to be honest, like I know I'm wearing this jersey, but the Red Sox are also getting no respect on the books, bro. It's crazy. They do nothing but win.
That's gonna be one of my picks for sure. I mean, plus 500, plus 550 is insane.
They were talking about the Red Sox on the show too, and I was thinking about that too, and they were like, the weird thing about the Red Sox, which I agree with, is they have like one great year and then one crap year.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like, what if they win like 60 games this year or something like that?
They've had no consistent manager stuff. Like the only reason they're losing is because they lost their manager. And they have
Cora's
turmoil.
back, right?
Like Cora's is the first time, within those couple of years that they finally have some continuity.
Yeah.
From my perspective.
Yeah.
Sucks for me. But I think that's also the reason why the Yankees kept Boone. I know everyone's, laughing at them and yelling at them, but that's why, because they just want to keep it rolling. You know what I mean?
Is that why? Or I guess that's part of it. Also, Cashman likes him. That's
I think they want to keep it rolling, and I don't.
I think the players like him too. I think the players like him too.
Yeah, he's chilling with them, bro. He doesn't say anything bad to them.
Yeah.
He knows how to treat them, and they can't say anything to him because he's the Yankee. So what are they gonna say?
He hit that home run that one time.
Yeah, he hit that home run that one time, and then he was a broadcast guy, and now he's the manager of the Yankees for his second contract. So just shut your mouth, you know what I mean, and do what I say. So,
and his family has a ton of respect, and CC Sabathia likes him, which goes a long way.
That's true, and they finally made an Aaron Boone type trade. They finally gave him, again, small ball players. We finally have a real shortstop. Like DJ LeMahieu is starting, quote unquote, on the bench right now. Like, what a luxury. You know what I mean? We have three, monsters in the outfield with Aaron Hicks trying to get a spot. Like, things have changed, right? Greg Bird's in our AAA. Shout out to him. So, I like the way the Yankees are moving. And so.
Are you taking the over on their win total then? Sorry,
no.
Are you taking
No, it's a perfect segment. I'm not going to do that because, again, I live and die by every Yankee game.
Yeah.
Okay. So what in the hell is the point?
That's why I'm not doing
all
it too.
that. Like, oh yeah, they got 98 wins. So let me get my, 1,000, whatever unit that no way. But what I did do is so I could pay attention to all of baseball, and not just, root for the teams that I want. Is I took that same division, like I said. So we got the Brewers, Braves, Dodgers, Twins, which are again all favorites except for the Twins are number 2. Threw in the Yankees because, the Yankees. But I think to be honest with you, plus 250 is a terrible number. I think it should be worse than that. But again, I got to do it. And then I threw in the Angels. We mentioned it. They got Syndergaard looking okay. They got Ohtani. They got players. They got the guy, Mike Trout. He's pretty good at baseball, I hear. And so I feel like they can get it together a little bit, win the division. I don't know. I don't think that's
really?
Too out of the realm. So if you take all those, and granted it is all the divisions, put $20 on it, win 11 grand. So get to basically root for most of the favorites, if not the one. It's the 2, and see what happens. You know what I mean? That's how I'm approaching the MLB season. No over under nonsense. But I might touch the home run stuff. That's kind of interesting. I feel like I'm going to be so wrong. I kind of feel good about Yelich, especially because he's in Milwaukee. So maybe I'll check him out.
Yeah,
Angels plus 400 on Barstool. That's
plus 410 on FanDuel.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's
man,
fun
it's nice
too
all year, bro.
Because you can you can watch them. You get to. My brother loves watching them too. Ohtani, they are fun as hell to watch.
Yeah.
It's such a risk. I feel like taking them with them. They always disappoint.
So do the Yankees, man.
Oh yeah, I know. But they're our team, so who cares?
Facts.
Oh
Greg,
yes.
and this Major League Baseball segment for us, man. What do you got going, man? We know you got some baseball stuff rolling here. You and your fantasy drafts.
I'm trying, man. I'm
Your
thinking hard
baseball.
through this. So I'm getting kind of like the golf stuff. Yeah, screw it. I'll do a full unit on all this stuff just because you're betting on it all season long. It's gonna
Let's
last.
go.
It's gonna last all year.
And there's no number you have to hit. Like
Yeah.
it could be a bad division, and you're just fighting at the end. Like the A's are always fighting, and the Giants doesn't matter. Even though the Yankees could win every division, we're always in third. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
Yes.
The region matters.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a couple bets. So I'm gonna do a division parlay, and then to make the playoffs. I like those too because I think with baseball you can kind of sneak in a little bit here and there. Some teams give up halfway through the season, so I think there's a little bit of
Extra
opportunity.
wild card spot.
Yeah, and I think exactly, and I think there's some.
I don't know how long we're gonna say that, but it's for almost every sport now, so I kind of like it. You got the
Yeah.
extra spot in every single league. It just keeps talking. NHL did it. We made fun of them. NBA did it. We laughed at them. NFL, like everybody, MLB, but there's just an extra playoff spot everywhere.
Yeah, NFL. I mean, it's just more eyeballs, more revenue, more TV. So
We just call it something else. Wild card Monday.
Exactly. So I'm going just to make the playoffs. I got two of those. I got the Marlins at plus 210. I think our division is just so hit or miss.
Yikes.
You don't know how the Braves are going to do. You don't know how. The only thing that's really a sure thing, which now that I'm saying it's probably going to happen, is that Washington's going to stink. So you don't have to worry
How
about
about the
them.
Phillies?
I think the Phillies I was looking at too. They're just not. They're like
They worry
minus.
me.
They're like minus money to make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I have them in my division parlay. But yeah, I think
I'm
they're
worried about
good.
them in the division.
Yeah, I think they're good. I think they have a pretty good pitching staff. They have obviously some big bats. So I was worried about Phillies. They're another team that's just. I don't know if it's like this all of baseball because against regional. So I really watch the NL East. They're just one of those teams where they're just like all of us in our division. We're super streaky. So if they get hot at the right time and they stay healthy, after the All-Star break, they can get on a run just like anyone. They have big game pitchers, they have big game hitters, so I like them. But Marlins at plus 210 for me is going to be my pick there. Detroit Tigers at plus 370. I think they're a young up-and-coming team. I think that they had a pretty good season last year. Decent pitching staff, nothing tremendous, but they were able to get some free agent acquisitions. They were able to kind of build out that roster a little bit. So plus 370, I think is pretty good odds again just to make the playoffs isn't too crazy. And then my spite bet for the year, the Yankees not to make the playoffs, plus 270. I mean, the odds are just too juicy. I can't not take it.
Wow.
I want to take that bet from you. I'll take
we could do a show bet. We could do a Win Pick weekly bet. Plus 270, Yankees not to make the playoffs.
What's the Mets not to make the playoffs?
Plus 150, because they're a better team.
I just think the NL's worse.
Yeah, I don't know. Vegas certainly doesn't, so I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Divisions
though for me. Divisions are going to be Red Sox plus 500, Twins plus 490.
You're a typical
Phillies
Mets
plus
fan. You're
340.
disgusting.
Oh.
Go ahead. You can restart.
No, it's all right. I mean,
Mets
the Red
fans
Sox,
love the Red Sox.
I know.
No. Oh, Chip, no. I hate the Red Sox.
Oh, really?
Hate anything New England related, anything that's from that area. I just hate the Yankees more. So, every playoffs I sweat out because the Mets usually don't make it. The Yankees winning, the Red Sox winning, and then I just hate the Astros because I think most of the world hates the Astros at this
everyone
point
hates
too.
them.
But Red Sox to win the division plus 500, Twins plus 490, and then the Phillies plus 340. I think those are good odds. Braves, I'm not too sure about. Obviously, the Mets, I'll put a bet in on that too. But at plus 200, it just seems. I thought it was going to be a little bit higher at this point with the DeGrom, and Scherzer's a little banged up too. So, I thought those were going to be maybe closer to the 300 range. So we'll see. I mean, after the first couple weeks, like we said, with these division odds, they can change, they can flip, they can move. So for right now, preseason, I like to take those juicy odds, plus 500, plus 490, plus 340. If you parlay that, it's $100 to win 15,500. So I'll be doing that as well. And yeah, we'll ride into the season. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know if I hedge it out, change anything, or add anything to it. That's my other thing too with baseball. I love adding stuff as we go. So
It's a long season, man. It's a
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
series. I definitely bet game stuff. I really like probable pitchers, the little segment that ESPN has,
Okay.
or MLB.com. They go really in depth about like the pitcher and like their actual start and what kind of happened the games before. And I really do base a lot off that because I have an inkling going in, and then the starting pitcher. Then there's also the first six going on. So MLB is interesting. And just to end this all off, a long episode, we had the Masters, the baseball, but we are huge basketball fans, right? We just came off madness. The NBA playoffs is over for the Knicks, so now we have to start, caring about other teams. We've been watching them all year. I've started caring about them, but for some reason, they fell off in the last couple weeks, right? All the top teams in the East suck, injuries. Then we have all the top teams in the West suck, except for the one team. And that's just kind of where I'm going with this, man. I got the Suns. I mentioned it before. I got the Suns winning this chip. And I got the Bucks meeting them in the Eastern Conference. So they're both plus odds right now. And there's nothing going to stop the Suns. And I don't think anyone's going to beat the Bucks. So I just feel like those are not... Even parlay those, a nice little bet to just keep you going. If you want to always throw Real Madrid to win La Liga, it's like minus 4,000 now. They're 100% going to win La Liga. It's just fun to add to any bet. If you want to do something fun, the English Premier League coming down to an end here. Liverpool plays Man City. They just played the FA Cup today, and then they play basically for first place in the Premier League this weekend. And then there's like 5-6 games left, and they're going to even out, regardless of how that plays out. So this is really they're 1 point apart. This is for the marbles right here.
Okay.
Right now, Man City's minus 220 to win the EPL. Liverpool's plus 170. So just some fun stuff if you want to add to those. That's kind of how I feel about futures of those sports going in. I can't wait, and I cannot wait for the World Cup coming in the winter. I already took Belgium to win it before the odds change on there. And of course, you got to take USA just in case, like kind of like the Jets, right? Touch that because I can't not take USA. But just some fun, futures coming up here. But dude, I cannot wait for NBA playoff rounds. Oh my God, the easiest bets. You take those exact series, you know exactly how they're going to play out. Right, that one team, there's the gentleman's sweep when they go home. That one game, take the 4-1. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the Jazz to lose. I can't wait for the Nets to sneak in the 2 play-in games and lose to the Bucks. I can't wait for all of it. But we'll tune in. If Robert Williams comes back and change everything. Bulls stink, but DeRozan's going to win 1 or 2 games. Oh, I'm so excited.
Maybe jump on the Celtics Eastern Conference odds now before he comes back.
Yeah, man. So let's hear it. Let's hear it, Chip. What do you got?
Chip. Well, I think last episode, John, you gave out the Suns and you gave out the Bucks. I think I had the Celtics.
I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, before they went crazy. I had the Nuggets as well last episode. And early in the season, I had the Hawks, which obviously stinks now. So it happens with the futures. So do you have anything that caught your eye when you're looking at the futures odds? Anything you're thinking about for NBA?
Everybody was high on the Hawks, right?
Yeah,
I picked Trae Young as my long shot MVP. Yeah. Like
they killed us, bro. They killed us.
That was it was such recency bias. I was like, man, this guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's gonna lead his
Reggie Miller.
He's gonna be amazing. He's gonna crush. He's gonna destroy the entire league. Now he was so good against us. Yeah, turns out, exactly. Turns out we just weren't that good. Yeah, that's why he did that to us.
That happens.
Yeah, but no, I like the Celtics to win the East. I was looking back at like same thing I did with baseball. I was looking at old odds, and it was BetMGM odds for teams that have won the division. And obviously, because it's the Eastern Conference, it's just been the favorite for so long because LeBron dominated and won the Eastern Conference 8 years in a row, and he was always the favorite. And then the last 2 years, that didn't happen. Obviously, the Nets were the favorite last year. The Bucks won. Then you had the fluky bubble year with the Heat. And then 2018-19, when the Raptors won, Kawhi actually wasn't the Raptors actually weren't the favorite. Remember, the Bucks won 60 games.
Yep.
But the real, like, last time where a team had like kind of long shot odds and won the East was 2009, 2010, when the Celtics, the Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, KG Celtics won, and they beat the Cavs and LeBron, and that was LeBron's last year in Cleveland. That was like the last straw. They won 60, and this was supposed to be the year. So if anyone's gonna like pull off like an upset thing, it's gonna be like a veteran team like that. Because another team that was an upset to win their conference was Dirk's Mavs when they went and won the finals. So if anyone's going to be a surprise team to win their conference, and it's going to be a veteran team like maybe the Heat at plus 500. But I think also a lot of things need to break your way to do that. I also, as much as it pains me to say this, I feel like you got to put money on the Celtics, because much like the Celtics did back when they beat LeBron all those years ago, they do it with defense. And if you're going to pull off an upset, like beat a defending champion like the Bucks, beat the Nets, that's how you have to do it. And they have a Jason Tatum. And also, again, as much as I hate to say it, the Nets are plus 320 or something right now. If those odds keep going up, they're going to be very tempting to take.
That's disgusting.
They are, man.
They're not tempting.
If it hits that 400 mark,
they're
Kyrie
plus 600 to win the whole
Kyrie
thing.
Sucks if he doesn't have 6 days off. He's a starting pitcher now. Go look at his stats. Stinks if he's playing.
They still have Kevin Durant. They still have Kevin Durant.
Best
I don't know.
basketball player in the NBA. Best basketball player. He's amazing.
Chip, when you said veteran team, one team stuck out to me that we haven't talked about at all is the Golden State Warriors. Second best odd in the West, plus 450 to win the West. The Suns are plus 110. Any shot that they, I don't know, surprise the Suns?
Is that even really a surprise if they win the West?
I think it would be a huge surprise. I don't think there's any chance, dude. Draymond is hurt. Clay has not looked like himself. Wiseman's out. I wish I could literally short the Warriors. Like if there was a way, like I'm just gonna, like that's why I like playoff rounds. Like you could short teams.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So that like I do not trust the Warriors. The fact that they're a 2 seed, they're a fraud. Like they're the biggest fraud 2 seed.
Oh my god!
Just as bad as Brooklyn is a fraud 10 seed. Like or whatever they are right now. I would say it's the same exact amount of fraud.
You saying this makes me want to put money on the Warriors right now.
I'll take it. I'll take your
Draymond Green is gonna somehow hear this.
Dude, I will take your Warriors bet. Greg, I'll take your Yankees bet. Like I'm here for it all.
What are they to win the championship on? They're plus 800 to win the championship on DraftKings, by the way.
Plus 950 on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Shop those odds, people.
I got
Shop
the
those
Suns.
lines.
Yeah. I got the Suns.
All right, sounds good.
What do you got? What do you got, Greg?
Like I said, last episode I gave out the Celtics before they went on the run, so I can't remember what that was off the top of my head. And then the Nuggets. I had both those. I still think that there's a shot for them. Obviously,
I like the Nuggets.
Yeah,
but they're hurt.
They're drifting a little bit. They're banged up. Really depends on if everyone comes back and is healthy. I mean, we'll see with Michael Porter Jr.
Right, I'm gonna end on this. I'm gonna end on this because you're talking about healthy, and it's just like a light keeps blinking in my brain.
All right,
is Kawhi Leonard just gonna show up, and the Clippers gonna be healthy?
No, I don't think so.
Because if he comes in and he's healthy, they're the second best team in the West. All right.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything.
Am I taking those
it.
odds? Am I just betting that just in case or no? That's the question. If Kawhi announces tomorrow, those odds drop by 75%, right?
Depends.
Well, they've got to be like plus 2,000 right now, right? So.
Oh, they're plus 5,000 now to win.
Yeah, plus 5,000.
Oh, you're talking about to win it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, if they make it out of the West. At that point, if that's the Western Conference Championship is the championship, unless it's Bucks Suns rematch, that'll be fun. But I think that'll still be 4-2. Suns away.
Really?
Yeah, dude. The Suns have been unbelievable. No matter who's injured, no matter how bad they want to trade DeAndre Ayton because he stinks, like it does not matter. They kill every single team. And D Book, dude, he just has the look in his eyes this year. He does not care.
Yeah.
Like he does not
the Grizzlies.
care.
They don't kill the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies killing themselves right now.
Yeah.
I don't love the Grizzlies
themselves?
right now. Well, like
all they do is win.
Dude, I don't
Without
like.
Ja.
I know, but when Ja comes back, they're gonna have a whole thing.
When their
Jerry Jackson
all-star
Jr. in the
starter point guard
playoffs.
comes back, what are you, Chris
Yeah.
Percy-Einen right now? God.
I'm telling you, man. We'll see. We'll see about Memphis in the playoff. I love Memphis. Like Memphis, Tyus Jones is cool. Memphis, is my type of team. Even though they fight with the Knicks, I like that grittiness. But I don't know. I just don't
Tyus
trust
Jones,
them.
potential
they're,
future Knick.
honestly, they're my second favorite team in the West. Like if you're asking me, I'll take Memphis number 2. But I just think the Suns are way ahead of everyone.
Got
I
tuned in to
love Chris
find
Paul,
out, I
so-
guess.
I hope he gets a
To me,
ring.
the Bucks are way ahead of everyone in the East.
Yeah.
They're just wait. Like Zach Lowe said on his podcast a million times, the Bucks are just waiting for the playoffs at this point to just
they're a
crush
wagon.
everybody. Probably. Yeah.
They want the Suns. They
Yeah.
want the
Of course
Nets.
they do.
The
They-
Nets
they
want the
they
Bucks.
They want to go against Chris Paul. Everyone does in the playoffs.
But dude, he already got rid of his injury. That's my favorite part. Usually he waits a little bit, gets injured right at the
just wait.
playoffs.
I think Giannis wants the Nets because he wants to beat them again, so nobody can say it was a fluke.
His foot.
I think they want to crush the Nets.
I think
Yeah.
Kevin Durant has been staring at his foot for
Yeah.
a little over a year. So I agree. Does anyone have anything to add on any future bets? I think we mentioned we touch on almost every sport here. I mean, you want to take MLS, take the LA Galaxy, and take the NYCFC for a repeat if you really want to go crazy here. But we've touched on every sport across the board here for futures. Anyone have anything else to add?
I was looking. I forgot to point this out when we were talking about MLB, but FanDuel has a cool one. Worst record for this season for MLB, and we were talking about the AL East and NL East, and I just saw the Nationals were plus 1,000, and the NL East is pretty good. So I'm not gonna bet like the Orioles is the favorite, obviously, to win it. I'm not gonna bet the Orioles. Yeah, Pittsburgh, then Pittsburgh plus 500, D-backs plus 700.
Yeah, where are the Mets?
Probably like
I don't even see
like
yet.
minus 10,000.
Yeah. Then the
Minus
A's plus
10,000?
800. Yeah. They're
I don't think I even see it
plus
on a.
plus 50,000. I want to say is that yeah.
Mets worst records plus 50,000.
Unless I'm reading
Nah, it
it
can't
wrong.
be plus money.
That's what it says here. Or I'm reading it wrong. I don't know what I'm reading.
It's
here.
obviously plus money.
Oh yeah, plus money. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. It's plus money. Yeah.
If it's a crazy number, like that's more odds than the correct score for NCAA, bro.
Yeah, plus 50,000 is a number.
All right. So that ends our futures episode and our current Masters episode. Anyone have anything else to add before we tell people to like, subscribe? If you made it all the way this long, like, subscribe.
I mean, if you want to go
shout out to the
If
Twitter.
you want to go crazy with another future, I mean, the Rangers are plus 2,000.
Let's go.
So
I'm going to Rangers
That
game
really
soon.
hits all the sports.
I'm hyped about the Rangers.
No, we're talking about the hockey.
The hockey.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about hockey.
Oh, we'll have more
Like,
episodes coming up on hockey. Don't you worry.
All right.
And that wraps up our episode. Anyone have anything want to close this out?
No,
All
like,
right.
subscribe, podcast, YouTube, all that good stuff, man. We're out there. Apple, Spotify, you name it. Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. And YouTube, we're on Knicks, Jets, etc. YouTube. If you don't follow them and somehow you're finding us, I don't know how that happened because John and Alex do a great job every week breaking down the Knicks and the Nets, or the Knicks and the Jets. No
Oh my
Nets.
God, I'm clipping that
No
for
Nets.
Alex. I'm clipping that.
unless we're talking smack, no Nets. But a lot of Jets talk. I think
Good
coming
save.
This week
Good
we're going to
save.
be doing a good episode on the Jets draft. We're going to be talking more about the Knicks and their future. You guys put out a great episode today about that, so go check it out over there. And like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you guys are taking for the Masters this weekend. We'd really appreciate it. Everything helps, and maybe you'll give us some good tips. So keep the tips coming, keep the interactions coming. Chip, thank you so much for coming on. Chip Murphy 7 on Twitter as always. And we'll see you next time.
We out. Let's go Jets, I guess.
Oh yeah. Always.
Yankees.
Always.
Let's go Yankees. Right, Greg?
Oh yeah. Let's go Yankees. What's the last place odds for them?